Hello, Connor here for day 74 of meditation, and today we did a bit of contemplation. We were looking into meaning. Now, meaning is important, or it's very profound for all people, and there's a lot to it. And today we've only got a little fraction, but essentially, meaning we as humans, or as a lot of things, we attach meaning to everything. Meaning this shirt here, had it a couple years, enjoy wearing it, like the shirt, attach meaning to it. Infuse shirt with and yeah, anything's like this. We attach meaning to things, and that determines how we react to it or how we think about it going forward. So when we were thinking about this, it first was brought about because we were thinking around how one cannot be hurt unless one allows themselves to be hurt. Or one cannot be harmed unless they perceive themselves to be harmed. Essentially saying that harm only comes from oneself and the thoughts which derive one's current situation. So we're thinking, okay, insults. Insults essentially being, if I insult you, the words alone they're just ripples in the air. They're just vibrations of sound, airwaves that flow, and they just vibrate in your ears. That's the simple nature of it, but it's the meaning we infuse the words with through our intent behind them and the way we use them and the words that we are actually used. It's the meaning that we infuse the words with is what is used to, insult the other individual. The thing about it, I can use infused words to insult you, but your meaning is different from my meaning. So those words can impact you a lot depending on the meaning you take away from them, or they can impact you not at all due to the meaning that you take away from them. So it tends to be a high depiction of self, which is more likely to be insulted or more likely to find positive regard in what people say, given self being ego. If you have a high self-image and I insult that self-image, that regard you hold yourself to, then the meaning you take away from that insult is that the you, which you hold on such a pedestal, who you believe so high of, is being belittled and attacked. And that's the meaning you place on you. It's like the meaning of self is being diminished in a sense. So that's when we react and fight back. And this is also why people with no self, or people with humble self, or a lesser self-image, a lesser ego, are less likely to be insulted. Because if someone insults self, but there's a more diminished self, or not an unworthy, this person places less emphasis on the self, then insults towards oneself won't have as much impact or have as much meaning as this person doesn't place as much meaning on the self. Same too for positive evaluation. If someone holds their self to a high regard and they place a lot of meaning on their self and self-image, then being told that they're doing really well or given positive feedback and stuff like that, there's a lot more meaning to it, and they use that meaning to bolster self. It means a lot more than someone with lesser self. They're just like, oh yeah, thanks. But they're not using every word, they're not deriving all this meaning from another individual to bolster the meaning of self. So yeah, meaning. That was just one take. It's also, you see meaning across all religions and everything, and it's like a fundamental importance, and it seems to be that the amount of meaning we attach to things derives the amount of reaction or control that thing has over our actions and well-being. Obviously, your parents have a lot more meaning to you than a random, like someone you don't know. So when something happens to a parent, we feel that a lot more because it's meaningful to us. Same to religions. If we derive all our meaning of the world through a religion, and that is our meaning, that is our purpose, then anything which attacks that religion or anything which goes against that religion, then it goes against a grand meaning or grand emphasis which we place on something, which is a lot more likely to cause a reaction within the self. So yeah, meaning is extremely important. We've still got a lot to contemplate on meaning, but essentially let's attempt to limit your meaning on things. It's good to have meaning, but not so much meaning to the point where you react to every little thing that occurs. De-emphasize the self probably as well, because too much regard for oneself, too much meaning derived from the image that you are, and yeah, anything that stirs that image, like stirs the pot of the whole meaning of yourself in your mind. So yeah, we did write meaning or no meaning a while ago, essentially expressing if there's meaning in everything or if there's no meaning. And right now, we still need to contemplate it a lot more, especially after today. But what we do know is that people attach meaning to everything. I mean everything. Anything of the slightest importance to an individual, we have already attached meaning to. And this meaning can form into over-attachment, and that can cause us pain in the future as well. Meaning is good because it allows us to pursue things. I think it's finding the balance of meaning and understanding. And we can attach meaning to other things like wealth and meaning to purpose, meaning to religion, meaning to other people, meaning to what our own self, our ego. And we can also put meaning towards others, as we said, through words. And when you see politics, they're attaching meaning to everything, and they're deriving meaning from what is being said as well. You look at figures which are followed amongst people, they say something with meaning to it. Followers depict their own meaning and follow along with a meaning that has been sprouted out. And yeah, that's meaning and meaning. Meaning's cool. But as far as I know, meaning is derived from the mind, and the harm that we can feel from any meaning is in correlation to the amount of meaning we have attached to that substance or thing or person or place or anything. So yeah, that's what we've picked up, and yeah, hopefully today's file doesn't corrupt like the other contemplative day. But we'll see you for day 75, and we'll continue thinking about meaning. And if you have any thoughts, leave a comment or message, or let us know your thoughts on meaning, because it seems like a big topic, and there's a lot more we thought about, which yeah, we'll just keep thinking. See ya. Hello. Oh, hello. It's kind of here. We'll go day 74 of meditation. It should be 75 technically, but 72 got corrupted. Fun. 73 got corrupted. Very exciting. Files disappearing out of nowhere so that you guys can never hear anything. But today we probably didn't have the best meditation. Reason being is yesterday we planned out a new routine, and this routine requires us to get up at 6 to follow the routine. And yeah, we tried to get up at 6, and then we ended up falling asleep during the meditation because we were too sleepy, because we're not used to getting up at 6. So that will slowly develop and be built into the routine. We did have a little meditation, and the main meditation was just on death, really, and how death kind of gets rid of everyone's troubles. Because why is there a need to be anxious now to do something, or around something, when literally like 50 years, 100 years from now, none of it will matter anyway. So yeah, we're looking at death a little bit. It was also sparked by Meditations, Marcus Aurelius, essentially saying anxiety is unnecessary, fear is unnecessary, a lot of things are unnecessary, because when we die, none of it matters anyway. So you may as well live with some peace of mind that whatever you do doesn't last forever, or live with the peace of mind that, yeah, I guess it is kind of that, whatever you do doesn't last forever. I think we put this grand depiction on things that if we are embarrassed in a moment, if we don't speak correctly to someone, like we're awkward or something, that can destroy us in a sense. But at the end of the day, it really doesn't do anything. Like the least it does is alter your life a little bit in some small regard, if any regard really. We've talked about anxiety before, the depiction of anxiety essentially being too much emphasis on the self. So when recognizing death, it allows us to de-emphasize the self, because we understand that the vessel that we obtain, the body which is here, which does stuff, it is fleeting as well. Technically it's not us, so don't connect too much with it. It's like what we use to navigate while we're here. And at the end of the day, it will be a rotting corpse in the ground and it will be forgotten. Like all people prior to us, essentially. So, yeah, moral of the story is that de-emphasize the self a little bit, because it doesn't hold grand importance. And when it doesn't hold grand importance, then we stop placing such emphasis on needing things to be a certain way or needing to be depicted in a certain light. We can also de-emphasize the situations that happen in our life, as we know it is very minute and that it won't matter further down the track, if it matters at all, you know. So while we're in this life, attempt to lessen the emphasis on the self. Reducing anxiety, because anxiety probably stems from feeling like we need to be something for people, or feeling like we need to live up to this certain depiction or expectation. You're gonna die. Everything will be forgotten. The person that you embarrassed yourself in front of, they're gonna die as well. Oh, there was another thing about understanding where other people navigate from as well, and very much so that we know everyone places emphasis on the self and they're too focused on the self that relating to you or like judging you doesn't matter as much in their mind and isn't as emphasized as you place it to be or depict it to be. And that most people also navigate from a place that causes their own suffering, which means it's not the ideal place to navigate from, which means try not to navigate from the same place. And obviously placing judgment on others and demeaning others, like if you feel like you're depicted poorly or put down by another, even though you feel yourself to be living purely, happily, whatever, or if you're navigating from a place where you are at peace in most of your day, or if not all, like most of your life, then to fall into that. If you're at peace most of your life, then you're already not falling into those depictions or those judgments placed on you by others. There's many things which cause suffering. Comparison or falling into judgment or labels which we place on ourselves or we feel like others are placing on us, that is just another road for samsara. I know we've talked about that before, just a bit of clarity. It's been a lot we've been working on lately, and today is the first day we're trying to get it all functioning together. So and like we said, we didn't sleep the best. So it's all adapting, just give it time. But that's a bit of information for you guys, if you can get anything out of it. Contemplate death. They say contemplation of death is extremely important. I honestly have not done it enough yet, or barely done it, so maybe we'll give it a go shortly. I think we've done it once, like way back, but we didn't even know about contemplation meditation then, so we'll give it a go in the future sometime soon and actually see how profound it actually is and what kind of realization it brings, because I think that would be one of many. It's kind of recognizing the fleeting nature of life and how little things mean within it, or maybe everything means a lot within it, but it's knowing that at the end of it, it doesn't mean anything anymore. I don't know, you gotta learn how to be in acceptance of death and all of that sort of stuff as well. This is what I've heard. And we're just going to test it out and contemplate on it and figure out what death actually means, I guess. So, bear with us. I know it's a simple day, but we'll see you for day 75. And hopefully no more files get corrupted. That would be really, 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 really pleasant, actually. See ya. Hello. It's Connor here for day 75 of meditations, and today was a wonderful day. Reason being was we just woke up, read, meditated, and it just felt good. And we realized all the hours, or we realized the perspective shifts over time since we started meditation. And we realized that we would take not a single day back from meditation, given we probably dedicated around 75 hours to it now, given it's day 75, an hour per day. Yeah, we realized we don't regret any of that time spent. And we realized in 75 hours, which honestly is not many hours, the world of difference it makes for us in everyday life. And just the peace, just the clarity, just the fulfillment, just the experience of seeing the world and just being with it and navigating through it. Combat anxiety, mood swings, just all sorts of stuff. It's really depleted and taken a turn for the best, which is always the goal. It comes from stuff that happens in life, comes from meditation, and comes from the psychology side of it as well. It's always learning to be done, and obviously you don't learn and throw it in the bin, you learn and adapt and figure things out. So yeah, if you're thinking to start meditation, go full steam ahead, as we're going to continue doing, because yeah, it really opens up your world. Today we were investigating, we weren't really investigating much, we were more just being present with everything, which was a nice feeling. We went back to the breath, because lately we've been contemplating a little bit. So we went back to the breath for a little bit and just looked around, and we saw the earth, and we realized the plants that are born from the earth, and the fruits that are birthed from the plants, and then the trees, and then the animals. I was honestly trying to think about where animals came from in the first place, the first place. I don't know if they come from the ocean or whatever, but then I was thinking, where did the first ocean animal come from? I was thinking, maybe it was birthed off an ocean plant or something, I don't know. A little fungus or something. We don't know, all honesty. Maybe someone has that answer, but yeah, it was interesting to look at the earth and feel the grass and feel the dirt and realize, hey, this is earth. That was pretty cool, a little planet. And we also delved into meaning, emphasis, purpose, as we've been talking about a lot lately. Essentially, the emphasis we place on something, the amount of meaning we give to something, I like emphasis. Emphasis is a good word. The amount of emphasis we place on something, correlating with the amount of correlated with the amount of suffering we can feel towards it. It's also correlated with other things. You can certainly have a lot of happiness out of placing a lot of emphasis on things as well. And emphasis determines more of a roller coaster. So you can experience higher happinesses and lower sadnesses. We say in regards to relationship as well, to love someone to a certain extent means you can experience the pain to the equal and opposite regard, meaning the emphasis we place on an individual, when that individual disappears or something goes wrong, that pain, that emphasis we placed, we can experience its opposite. So in relation to samsara, which we have been discussing this a bit, but essentially, if I place emphasis on a project goes wrong, I feel sad. Project goes right, I feel happy. Emotion depicted or determined by emphasis placed on object, outside object. So yeah, then we're thinking about, okay, if emphasis is the cause of this roller coaster, and we're trying to be stable consistently, as that's how to overcome samsara. As we've heard, beyond purpose, life seeing life, we talked about all of that. So we'll move on from that, but it is a good realization. We talked about de-emphasizing. So to love without attachment, meaning we don't place emphasis on things, but we still cherish everything before us as just the experience it gives, and as everything being part of the whole. Everything following in accordance with nature, and just loving the experience before us, or just experiencing it. We don't even need to love it, but just being acceptance of it at the least. But it tends to be when you truly start to see it and experience it, you start to enjoy it, and you start to be enthusiastic about it, because it's quite entertaining. It's like a It's like a 10D video game, you know? Like, how can we not be entertained? And when you truly see it, how can you not be entertained? If you're too busy playing up in here, then it's just problems after problems, or stuff after stuff. Maybe addiction, maybe thoughts, maybe all sorts of things. But yeah, when we see the world before us, it becomes very playful. And to love without attachments means to see the whole, experience the whole, but not attach yourself to certain material things, which is extremely hard, and technically that's what the Buddhists are meant to do. And there's I've been reading Stoic philosophy by Marcus Aurelius and everything. Non-attachment does work if we can learn to love without attachment. The thing about it is it's very difficult, and it is achievable by everyone, but only by the individuals which set themselves to the mindset to achieve it, if that makes sense. It's not like I can tell you love without attachment and then suddenly you love your girlfriend without attachment that you've had for 3 years, you know? There's going to be some deep attachment. It's not like I can say love without attachment and I look at my little dog Pippa, like, oh, so cute. Don't want to lose little Pips, you know? But it's about experiencing it and flowing with it and understanding the reality of change, impermanence, and loving what's before you rather than attaching yourself to an outcome or a need for things to flow a certain linear pattern. So yeah, we delved into that a while ago. Maybe we need to explore it a bit more. But yeah, essentially emphasis placed on stuff can cause a bit of a roller coaster, including meaning placed on stuff can cause a bit of a roller coaster. Too much meaning, too much emphasis on something, then that something determines how we feel in the moment. That should never be determined by something out here. Like, yes, for fundamental pain and suffering, yes, loss of a loved one, stuff like that, we can definitely feel that. But when it comes to feeling poor about an expectation which we've placed on a reality which doesn't cause fundamental hurt, like isn't innate a feeling of hurt, such as loss of loved one, but we are still feeling pain from this expectation placed, then that's just giving into samsara, and that's just causing our own suffering, which, yeah, when you start to delve away from it, from causing your own suffering, when you start to notice these patterns and you pick up one at a time and you delve away and you overlook them and, like, you know, figure them out, then you can truly find this stability in the moment that you're in at just about all times. So that's what we're after. Peace needs to be found in here, and then explore out here. Don't attach yourself to things out there, because yeah, roller coaster, fun. Anyway, yeah, take care.